Celebrate 100 condenses 500 years of wisdom and perspective into one life manual that covers everything from investing to the workplace. We're joined now by one of the book's authors, Dr. Steve Franklin. Welcome.
Thank you, Amy.
So
Thank
good
you,
to talk
Susie.
to you. I love to talk with older people and
I do
just
too.
pull wisdom from them because they've lived long enough to share lots.
Right. They sure have. A century is a long time. 100 is kind of a magic number, isn't it?
Yes.
I don't know. Now, you say you want to live to 120.
120.
Why?
Because, I mean, as long as I'm healthy, as long as I've got enough money, financially fit to be there. Why, there's so much going on in the world. I want to see what's going on.
I agree. So what are some of these great tips that everybody shared with you?
Well, I asked them about three things in life, you know, about money and about work and about life. Because think about it, they lived through the Roaring '20s and the Great Depression, 2 World Wars, Elvis, the Beatles, you name it. They lived through everything. So I tell everybody that we're kind of a function. Our quality of life is a function of three things: financial fitness, work wellness, and healthy habits.
Right.
And so about money, I asked them about money. What advice could you give to the younger generation about money? Well, 2 or 3 things that were very clear. Number one, get out of debt and stay out of debt. They hated debt. Debt was a nasty 4-letter word to centenarians. Pay cash for everything that you can. They paid cash for all their cars, just about. I mean, hardly any of them ever borrowed money to buy a car. They just waited till they had the money.
Right.
If they had credit cards, and a lot of them did, they just paid it off every month. And then on investing, I asked them, what about investing? They said, diversify, diversify, diversify. They invested from stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate.
But what about people that you interviewed that don't have stocks and bonds, that live on a farm?
Well, then they invested in, they had their farms. They worked hard and they had savings. Because one of the questions I asked, what percentage of your income, no matter how much you make, whether you're on a farm or in Wall Street, should you try and save? The minimum was 10%. Right. But a third of them said 20 to 50%. If I had to live out my life over again, I'd save 20 to 50%.
Wow.
But the big takeaway on money is this. Don't bet on not living to be 100. My girlfriend Lillian Cox down in Houston, she said, I sold my business at 65 because the oldest person in my family that had ever lived was my sister, who had lived to be 71. So she said, I thought I had 5 years to go. Sold my business, had lots of money. She said, by the time I was 70, I was broke, and I've been broke for 37 years. She's 107. She lives in Houston. She's doing great.
And you know, most of us, it's interesting, and men particularly, men will hit 75 and think, well, you know, I probably won't live much longer. And you know how why they always tell the wife, you know, I'll leave you enough that you can sell this, you know, and take the cruise with the next guy, that kind of thing. Why do men always think they're going first?
I don't know, but here's the people, because 8 out of 9 centenarians are women. So I say, ladies, you rock. You rock. So 8 out of 9. But on work, because let's face it, we spend half our waking hours on work, right?
Yeah.
2 or 3 things I picked up from work. Number one, find something you love to do. You all obviously love what you do. I've been watching you for the last hour. You love what you do, right?
Yes.
And they said, then give it all you got. But then the big one is they say work as long as you can. I hope y'all are doing the show when you're 100.
I don't ever plan to
Susie's 76.
Dr. Denmark was 103, still practicing pediatrician. Jack Borden down here in Texas, he was 103, practicing lawyer. Or Irving Kahn, Wall Street, 105, still managing stocks and bond portfolios. So work as long as you can, find something you love to do, and give it all you got.
And you know, my mother-in-law lived to be 97 years old, and she was always working. I said, Mama, why are you always working? She said, because the day I don't have something to do is the day I die.
Oh, so true,
my grandma was Mima.
Keeps them alive.
Oh, absolutely. And then one of the questions I asked, which was real interesting, you might think about this yourself, I said, how do you define the word rich? How do you define the word rich? And I would ask that question kind of in the middle of all the financial questions. Yes. And I kept coming back over and over with the words faith, family, friends. Faith, knowing that God loves me, knowing that my family loves me.
Them?
Oh, yeah. No, big time. Yeah,
That's
big in faith. Faith was number 3. I asked them what was their secret. Number 1 was attitude. 2 kinds of people in life that I learned from centenarians. People that wake up in the morning and say, good morning, God. And people that wake up and say, good God morning. and these are good morning, God people.
Yes.
You know, and most of them have a strong faith. They have a strong family connectivity. Although a lot of them have outlived their children.
Wow.
You know, a lot of them have.
And that's
they have
hard.
Lots of friends and very socially active. I mean, they're still playing cards and bowling, and some of them playing golf, and walking is the #1 exercise of centenarians, absolutely. And none of them, I ask every one of them, have you ever been on a controlled diet? No. Have you ever been on a controlled exercise program? No. Never met an obese centenarian. But the key was moderation, moderation.
Yes,
they ate what they wanted.
Yes.
They ate Kentucky Fried Chicken, all that kind of stuff y'all were talking about in the last segment.
But then
they ate hamburgers, they ate everything.
Yeah, they did. My mother never dieted.
But they didn't overdose, if you will.
I love this one about life. It says, be a giver, not a taker.
They were givers. I would ask them, I say, if I gave you $1 million today, tax-free, what would you do with it? Guess what they all said?
give it away?
Give it away. They give it away.
Wow.
I said, come on.
Because they don't need it.
Don't you want something? One lady did say, well, I'd go buy me a Learjet and fly around the world a few times and then give somebody the jet. But they're very giving people.
So you're having a kick out of life.
I'm having a
What's
ball.
your next book about?
We're going to be about Centenarian companies. You know, for the millions of companies that have started here in the United States,
awesome.
there's less than 2,000 that we know of that are over 100 years old.
Yes.
So next book's going to be on taking a look at the common characteristics of those companies and then looking at the products that are over 100 years old. You know, the Aspen turned 100 just a couple of years ago, the Escalator, the Oreo, all those neat things that turned 100 recently, and every year something turns 100. So we're going to take a look at the products and common characteristics.
Are you this energetic at home?
I am. I am. I'm a middle child. I'm a middle child. I had to be, right?
And you've got some book signings, is that right?
I do. I've got book signings all over the state, and it's been lovely. I've been doing them in
Where
private
in
homes, the
Dallas?
library. In Dallas, I'm not doing one in Dallas. Came up here to do this show. I'm heading back to Houston tonight. Had one Sunday, going back to Houston. Going to be in Austin.
We thank you, Dr. Franklin,
Oh my
for coming
gosh.
in this
Rob,
morning.
Rob,
Love your
Well,
information.
come and do a Dallas
love,
book
love
signing.
this stuff. It's
You
good.
come back.
Live long and live strong.
You could get a copy of Celebrate 100 wherever you buy your favorite reads.